Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, December 26, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Baltimore Ravens vs Cincinnati Bengals. It was the third consecutive loss for Baltimore, which also fell to Pittsburgh 2 weekends ago on a missed 2-point conversion in the final seconds. The Ravens dropped into a first-place tie in the AFC North with Cincinnati. Ravaged this season by injuries, especially in the secondary, Baltimore faced a difficult task trying to stop Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay receivers. Joe Burrow will almost certainly exploit that in this matchup. The Ravens have been hit hard with injuries and COVID-19 issues, but showed that they are still a force to be reckoned with by covering the 9.5-point spread against Green Bay last week. The Ravens have now covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games and should be locked in to face a Bengals team that beat them by 24 points the last time they played. The Ravens are also 5-1 at TS in their last 6 games, as a road underdog and 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games against the AFC North. The Bengals have not proven that they can win the big games yet, and sweeping Baltimore will not be an easy task. Our first betting advice is to pick Baltimore Ravens +7. Cincinnati now has the opportunity to hold on to first place in the AFC if they can complete the season sweep of the Ravens on Sunday. A loss could potentially drop the Bengals to 4th in the division, depending on what the Browns and Steelers do this weekend. The Bengals are led by quarterback Joe Burrow, who has 3,640 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and is 17th with a 48.9 QBR this season. Burrow had his best game of the season against the Ravenback on October 24, throwing for 416 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Making his second start of the season, Tyler Huntley used his legs and arm to produce 288 of Baltimore's 354 total yards and all 4 touchdowns. In the previous week, Huntley came close to bringing the Ravens back in a 24-22 loss to the Browns. He finished that game with 27 of 38 completions for 270 yards passing and a touchdown, and 45 yards rushing, after Jackson left the game with an injury. The Ravens' offense should be in good shape, whether Huntley or Jackson gets the start, but the defense needs to step up. In the first meeting against the Bengals, Baltimore was outgained 520 to 393 in total yardage. Our second betting advice is to pick under 45. Quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. The defense of the Detroit Lions have actually been an average defensive team this season, as they are giving up 26.1 points per game. In their previous game against the Arizona Cardinals, Detroit allowed 398 total yards of offense, 293 passing, 105 rushing. The Cards were able to convert on 7 of 15 on 3rd down attempts and 1 of 3 on 4th down tries. Detroit dominated with their backs to the wall as Arizona failed to score on their 4 red zone attempts. The Lions are playing great football right now and can't be underestimated. They were 0-10-1 and have gone 2-3-1 since, including the 30-12 win against the first-place Cardinals last week. 2 of those defeats in that 6-game span occurred by only 3 and 2 points respectively. There have been many 3-point losses for Detroit this season. Furthermore, the Falcons have only won 2 out of their last 6 games, with one of those occurring against a 2-win Jacksonville team. Right now Jared Goff is playing with confidence, averaging a solid 242 passing yards in his last 3 games. He connected on a dazzling 80% of his pass attempts against Arizona. Keep in mind Goff has landed on the COVID list and is not likely to play if he can't go. Tim Boyle will start. Our first betting advice is to pick Detroit Lions +5. The Atlanta defense continues to have trouble in most games. They did hold Carolina to only 21 points 2 weeks ago, but gave up 31 last week. The pass defense is tabbed 24th in the NFL, while the rush defense isn't much better, coming in at 22nd. The Falcons are scoring an average of only 18.4 points on the year, placing them 26th overall. They are squandering an average of 27.4 points, landing them 31st in the NFL. The Detroit defense has been outstanding recently. They contained the Browns, Bears, and Cardinals within the last 5 games. Overall the numbers aren't good though, ranking 25th against the pass and 28th against the run. The Lions are scoring an average of 17.4 points on the season, landing them 28th in the NFL. They are allowing an average of 26.1 points, pegging them 26th in the league. Our second betting advice is to pick under 43. Chicago Bears vs Seattle Seahawks. The Bears lost 17-9 despite outgaining Minnesota 370-193. They had nearly twice as many first downs, 24-13, but they literally gave the game away by coughing up 3 fumbles. Justin Fields had a nice game, going 26 for 39 for 285 yards and a touchdown, but it wasn't enough. David Montgomery rushed for 60 yards, while Cole Kmet caught 6 passes for 71 yards. The Bears do have some injuries, including Fields, who is questionable. Also, the already thin receiver core, missing Allen Robinson, has some questionable players in Marquise Goodwin, Jakeem Grant, and tight end Jesper Horsted, who scored the Bears' lone touchdown last week. Fields is not expected to play this week due to an ankle injury. Andy Dalton, groin, is out and they will be replaced by veteran Nick Foles. Seattle has struggled against good teams this season, but it has shown that it is still a step above the cellar dwellers, which is where Chicago is sitting right now. The Seahawks have blasted Houston and Jacksonville in recent weeks. I do not expect them to crush the Bears, but they have a little more offensive firepower, which should be enough to cover this spread. Wilson is also not turning the ball over like Fields, so that could be a huge factor that determines who covers the number. Our first betting advice is to pick Seattle -6. The Seahawks have been struggling on both sides of the ball all season. Their offense ranks number 30, putting up just 303.4 yards per game. Wilson has completed 65.4% of his passes for 2,458 yards and 16 touchdowns. He has done a good job of protecting the ball, throwing just 5 interceptions on 318 attempts. Wide receiver Tyler Lockett has caught 62 passes for 1,023 yards and 5 touchdowns, while DK Metcalf has added 62 receptions for 805 yards. Running back Alex Collins is questionable for this game due to COVID-19 protocols. If he can't go, it will be Rashad Penny handling the majority of the rushing duties. They are facing a Chicago defense that ranks 9th, allowing 326.2 yards per game. The Bears come into this game ranked number 29 offensively, averaging 307.4 yards per game. Rookie quarterback Justin Fields has completed 58.9% of his passes for 1,870 yards and 7 touchdowns, but he has also thrown 10 interceptions and been sacked 36 times. Fields is on the injury report with an ankle issue, and Nick Foles is expected to start in his place. His top target has been wide receiver Darnell Mooney, who has caught 57 passes for 803 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back David Montgomery paces the rushing attack with 162 carries for 668 yards and 4 scores. The Bears were officially eliminated from playoff contention with their loss on Monday. They will be facing a Seattle defense that is number 31 in the NFL, allowing 390.4 yards per game. Our second betting advice is to pick under 42.5.